What's up, guys? So this is the first video that I am creating specifically for the YouTube channel Learning the Lanes, and this is the start of the Louisa family van build series, and it's going to be the first of many videos. I am super excited to get going with this van build, and I am super excited to film it as well. So without further ado, let's just get to what's going on behind me. So this is the back of our 2022 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter 170 extended 2500 chassis, and as you guys can see, there's not a heck of a lot going on back here. So we've only done a couple things so far, and that includes installing a second row of seating. That is a necessity, obviously. When you have kids, we've got one 20-month-old and we've got one on the way, so we're gonna need to put 2 car seats on those seats. So we've got, you know, room for 2 car seats and an extra person if they want to come along, so that's kind of nice. The next thing that I went and did was put all of this kill mat up all around, double layered the wheel wells, and that definitely helped, you know, cut down on a lot of the tinniness of the van, especially when you're driving it down the road with nothing in it. So that helps a lot. We didn't end up putting any kill mat on the floor, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Up here, this is the Sprinter subfloor that came with the van. So what I've done is actually raised it up a little bit, and I've insulated under that subfloor with about 1.5 to 2 inches of wool, natural wool fiber insulation. So that's what we're going to be doing today in this area. So I've removed the factory subfloor, and I'm going to be installing those 2x2s to support the subfloor and putting in that wool insulation and reinstalling that factory subfloor above the insulation. Doing what I did, installing those 1x2s and then putting the factory subfloor back on top of those, that resulted in raising everything up about 3/4 of an inch. So we're gonna lose a little bit of height in the van, but the trade-off is we're gonna get a good amount of insulation for that height. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're going to be using for the insulation in this van. And for the bulk of the insulation in the floor, it's going to be this 2-inch wool blanket. And then we're going to fill in little spots and little areas with this right here. This is loose fill wool insulation. So, you know, it's all wool, it's just 2 different types. We've got the blanket and then we've got the loose fill. And why we're choosing to use wool for this van, it's health concerns, it's sustainability, it's all those things. So the nice thing about wool is this is completely biodegradable, non-toxic, and you know, it's an excellent insulator for not only thermal insulation but also sound. And that's actually why I chose not to put any kill mat on the floor, because this is going to be just as good, if not better, than kill mat for the sound insulation, as well as offering excellent thermal properties for its thickness. So I'm excited, and I like the fact that this doesn't make me itchy, and it's not chemically foam insulation, which, you know, can give off VOCs and that kind of thing. This is probably a little more expensive than fiberglass. I think it's similar to foam, but yeah, we're excited to see how this works. So I ended up using an indoor-outdoor grade construction adhesive to glue these strips down to the van floor. I didn't want to drill more holes than I had to, obviously. Once dry, this glue is definitely going to have more than enough hold for this application. It was a bit fiddly getting all the strips in place, having to step around them and everything. Also, the van floor isn't a flat surface, so that made it a little bit tricky as well. So it took some thought trying to figure out how to lay all these strips out, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. Alright guys, so this is what I've got. This is the design that I have. It's a work of art. I've got the areas that are going to need some extra support reinforced. Mainly right there where I know that we're going to be walking a lot. And then areas where I know that framing for the cabinets is going to go. I think it looks pretty good. and we are ready to insulate. So here you can see I am basically just taking a good pair of scissors and cutting the wool blanket to size and sticking it in every little section here. Kind of fiddly, but again, not too hard of a job. The hardest part was just trying not to move the strips around because the construction adhesive wasn't completely dry yet. And there we have it. I think it turned out pretty good. It took a few hours, good day's work, and we are ready to put that factory subfloor back down on top of all of this. And then I've got longer bolts that are gonna bolt the subfloor back down, because remember we raised the floor a little bit, and those bolts are gonna bolt the factory subfloor back down onto these captive nuts. So my toxic trait is I should have asked for help with that. I would have loved to have asked for help with that, but I will never ask for help, ever. These are the original bolts. These are the new bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a generous amount of Loctite to help avoid corrosion. And also so the bolts don't wiggle their way loose. Just have to do that like 12 more times. I'm just using this as a crude straight edge so that I don't over tighten it and blow the floor down, because there's not a lot of support on the edges here. The support is like right here. So anyway, let's keep going. Alright guys, I just wanted to give you a shot of the finished product here. So you guys can see this is the factory subfloor. It is bolted down with longer bolts, but still going into the captive nuts that are in the frame that were already there. So really all I did was, add these supports here and basically raise the floor up about 3/4 of an inch. Put in about 1.5 inches of wool insulation underneath that subfloor, and then that's it. It looks fairly similar to what it looked like right out of the factory. Just giving you guys a shot from the back here. So the next step is going to be getting this nice and cleaned up, and then to lay the waterproof vinyl over it. And then after we've got the floor installed, we'll start framing with 80/20. I do want to say, I don't know if we're going to do it right away, but we are definitely going to be installing windows on the back right here. We're also going to be installing an opening window on this door on the passenger side here, as well as a static window that's going to be installed in this panel right here on the driver's side. Reason why we're not doing opening on the driver's side is because the opening style that we want opens like kind of in the middle and everything. So it's not really going to work for our design, because we're going to have a closet or a bathroom basically come right up to here. So about 2/3 of that window is going to be obstructed anyway. But if you're a passenger, or if you're, obviously one of our kids, you can see out both sides. We're not going to do anything fancy to these panels. I don't really see a point. No little windows or anything like that. Just windows in the back, windows up front, probably a fan and an air conditioner on top, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for the official first vlog for learning the lanes. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you can follow along with this van build. We're definitely going to be putting out more videos pretty soon, because I got to get this van done and ready to go traveling in, so that we can film more boat tours for learning the lane. So we can film more boat tours for learning the lines. I don't know which channel I'm filming for anymore. We've got to get this boat. So, all right. So we're definitely going to be putting out more videos on learning the lanes about this van build because I've got to get this van ready to film more boat tours for learning the lines. I think I got that right this time. All right, guys. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Lots more to come. See you in the next one.